So before we do get started, I do want to bring up that we do know all about the Apple and Goldman Sachs breakup that should be happening in the next 12 to 15 months, but not to really worry about that because somebody else will pick it up, like Synchrony or American Express or Chase. So we'll leave some links down below because I'm very confident that Apple is not just going to get rid of this product. They spent way too much money, way too much R&D in getting this thing up and running, and they keep adding more features, which we're going to go over. But to get right into exactly what this card gets you, first of all, like I mentioned earlier, it is a zero-fee card. And when it comes to a sign-up bonus, you do get $75 after your first actual transaction. There's no minimum spend, but it is only $75, and it only goes to the person that's opening the card. So if I refer somebody, I do not actually get anything back from it. It's just for referring you guys. But that is what you get from a sign-up bonus. Now, when it comes to the cashback categories, this is where things start to get a little tricky because a lot of people think that they see that 1% as a catch-all when it comes to cashback, but there's a lot more that meets to it. So to start off, the big category is a 3% cashback on anything Apple related. So it's any hardware, any software, any services. So you buy yourself an Apple laptop for $1,000, you get $30 back. If you, let's say, sign up for Apple One or any sort of subscription service through the App Store, if it has anything to do with Apple, it is 3% cash back. And then they also have some other partnered merchants like Panera and Nike, and the list usually kind of fluctuates and goes back and forth, but there are some other merchants that do give you a full 3% cash back. And then when it comes to the 2% cashback category, this is the part that I think people are missing big time. Because here in the US, 85% of merchants are actually accepting Apple Pay, and that is what this category is. So this is a catch-all umbrella category that if you use your phone to pay with the Apple Card, you will get 2% cash back. That's for dining, for retail, for gas. If you can use your phone to pay for anything with the Apple Card, you will get an automatic 2% cash back, and I think that is what makes this a beautiful catch-all card. There aren't many, if any, 2% cashback cards at that zero-fee category. There are plenty of 1.5%ers like the Chase Freedom and things like that, but if you want a catch-all card that gives you zero fee and 2% cash back, I want to say on 9 out of 10 of your purchases, this Apple Card could be the way to go. And then like I mentioned earlier, if at any point you need to physically use your Apple Card, then that's going to be 1% cash back on everything else. Now, I do want to briefly bring up what kind of data points I've seen of people getting approved for this card. So I've seen people with a credit score of 590 and above actually get this credit card, and that might be why I got Goldman Sachs into this kind of lost predicament, but people are getting accepted for this card even during this time. So if you guys do want to get into the Apple Card ecosystem and be able to use that cashback category, then by all means go for it. And to apply for it is very easy. You need to have an iPhone, which is something that, again, if you're not an iPhone user, then you won't be able to get an Apple Card because they want to tie you into that ecosystem. But literally just go into your wallet, press the plus sign on the top right-hand corner of the wallet application on the iPhone itself, and there will be an option to apply for the credit card. And within minutes, they'll either accept or deny you, and it doesn't hit your credit score until you accept the acceptance of the actual credit card application. And what's the beauty about this is that it does kind of mesh with your Apple Pay, so you will be able to use it literally instantly after getting approved, and you will get this nice titanium card in the mail, which to this day, it is the clankiest credit card that I personally have because it is made out of titanium, it's thick, and it's pretty heavy. So another huge perk of having an Apple Card is the actual UI and how it is into that Apple ecosystem, because there aren't a lot of credit cards, or at least not a lot of credit card companies that focus a lot on the user experience from a software side. So the first thing that I'm going to mention is that this actual card educates you on exactly how to pay off your credit card, because yes, you can pay off your credit card on time and make the minimum payments, but that's going to start to accrue interest, and then you're going to start to get in a hole of 20 to even 35% because we've seen some crazy interest rates now with credit cards. So being able to actually see exactly how much you can pay off and then also the consequences of not paying it off in full is a beautiful thing to see. So for instance, if for some reason you owe 1,000 cards on your Apple Card and you only pay 500 of it, it'll let you know how much next month you will owe in interest to Apple if you do decide to not pay the full amount and just pay either something between the minimum and the full amount. So just this little software and UI experience has allowed people to kind of educate themselves and say, oh wow, even if I do make the minimum payment, and yes, that's going to be an on-time payment technically on my credit score, which is always good, making that $40 minimum payment on something that you owe maybe $500 towards is going to hurt the amount of money they have to spend after the fact. So being able to educate people on how to use their credit card, the consequences of not paying them in full, is a huge added bonus. And then another unique thing about the Apple Card is that cash back isn't on a 30-day rolling basis, it is daily cash back. So if you spend $1,000 on Tuesday, on Wednesday morning, you will have $30 in your daily cash back if you buy a $1,000 laptop from Apple. And with that daily cash back, you can use it immediately. It goes either into your Apple Cash Card, which is pretty much just a prepaid debit card kind of situation, which is in your Apple Wallet automatically, or you can even put it into your actual high yield savings account, which is available for any Apple Card user. And right now it is at 4.15%. And there are some other ones out there like SoFi's 4.6% savings APY. But if you want to stay in the Apple ecosystem and kind of make it automatic and kind of set it and forget it, then this is a perfect situation because you can actually set it up in your Apple Wallet settings to actually, after the daily cash comes back in, instead of going to that debit card, it'll go directly into your high yield savings account and it'll start earning that 4.15% interest on your savings account, as you can see right here. And I don't know of any other card that'll give you 2% cash back on pretty much any purchase as long as you use Apple Pay, give you that cash back on a daily basis, and then allow you to automatically put that daily cash back into a high yield savings account, which you can withdraw from at any point. And obviously you can connect another savings or checking account to deposit into there. But if you want to move money between your savings account and that Apple debit card, it's going to move very seamlessly, very swiftly, and within seconds. And then some other features like the buy now, pay later feature that Apple introduced earlier this year, which allows you to kind of split up a payment between $100 and $1,000 in increments, I believe, of 4 weeks over 4 different payments. Now, I'm not a big fan of those short-term loans, but it is another feature that people do take advantage of and they do leverage, especially during this holiday season, which is something that you can actually take advantage of today if you have an Apple Card. So to summarize, the Apple Card I think is a great beginner card. It's a great catch-all card because, like I mentioned, in the US, almost 90% of merchants accept Apple Pay already. So even at restaurants, if you just ask the server to bring you their kind of credit card reader, you can just use your phone to tap an Apple Pay and you'll get that 2% cash back even on dining purchases. And like I mentioned, it's one of the few cards, if not the only card, that gives you daily cash back that can be used immediately the next day. You get a high yield savings account that automatically gets that daily cash deposited if you want to. 3% cash back on those expensive Apple products. Oh, and I forgot to mention that with Apple hardware, you can actually use your Apple Card to purchase them and get either a 6-month or a 12-month interest-free loan to buy the Apple product, depending on how expensive that product is. So that's another thing that people get these credit cards for, to be able to buy, let's say, an Apple laptop and pay $80 a month for 12 months to pay that thing off in full. And again, that's with 0 interest. So again, 3% cash back on Apple products and some other merchants, 2% back on Apple Pay transactions, and then 1% back on everything else. You have your high yield savings account. You have the UI, which is unmatched in the credit card space because Chase, Amex, all these other ones, yes, they're working on their software usability, but Apple, this is what they're known for, of course. So their UI and their application and the seamlessness of it works absolutely amazing. But let me know in the comment down below what you think. Are you an Apple Card user? Are you planning on getting an Apple Card? I'm personally team miles and points for the most part, but this is probably the most amazing cashback card. I do wish Apple had a point system that we can maybe transfer to other partners and things like that to maximize points. And maybe that is coming if they do partner with somebody like Chase or American Express, which has the ultimate rewards and the membership reward points as well. But that remains to be seen. We'll find that out probably next year. But leave a comment down below, like I mentioned. And if you made it to the end, leave a little credit card emoji in the comments below so I know you made it to the end. Let's discuss in the comments if the Apple Card is worth to get in 2023 going into 2024. But until next time, I'm Fernando. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.